Welcome to another episode of Eat Chit and Dice, a fortnightly podcast about board games and sometimes food. I don't know. I'm Jondi, and with me, as always, is
Jared.
Oh, geez. That was...
crazy loud.
It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fixed in post. Yeah, Jondi, we're talking about... Well, talking about a few things.
We are. It's kind of a...
And food, actually.
It's a point salad episode.
You know...
So very recently, we went to Nashville Tabletop Day.
Shout out to Meeple Mountain.
And it's a really great time. If you live in the Midwest at all, you should go next year.
Yeah.
It's super awesome fun. You could play games with us. So we thought we would just talk about the games that we played while we were there and any other games we've played very recently. Because sometimes it's just fun to not go on a theme and just talk about some stuff that we've been playing and excited about recently.
Yeah, we've done one of these before, and I, thought that was a pretty reasonable episode.
Yeah. And I think the next one will be similar because we're going to talk about Geekway on the next episode, I believe.
I'd have to look at the calendar, but yeah, that sounds maybe right.
Yeah. So, do you want to dive right in?
Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Space Park.
Space
Or
Park.
just go down the list.
Yeah, sure. Let's
Okay,
do it.
Space Park.
So, Space Park.
Space Park.
Space Park. It is a game by Keymaster Games. And as you might guess, it is a space-themed game. Mm-hmm. It is really, really easy, very simple game, but it's really fun. So the fact that it's easy and simple, there are some games out there that are like that you're just like, okay, this is boring. This one was really fun, even though it was really a simple concept, I think.
So I first had some exposure to this game at Gen Con. They had a little tableside demo set up, and I played that. The game is not bad.
No.
So everything that I'm going to say about it is not meaning that the game is bad. I have just always had really bad luck when playing. So here's the gist of the game.
It's a modular board.
Yeah, you lay out the tiles. And when you take an action, you displace. It's worker displacement. So you go to an area and you move this rocket ship. And there's 3 rocket ships, and you can go to those, move them around. And what happens to me every single time is, I want to do this action on my turn. Okay, well, let me just plan for that. And the person that went in front of me did my action, and now I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem with the game necessarily. I guess to a degree it is a problem with the design of the game, but there's not really
Well, and that happened to me a few times, at which point that's when I would try, hopefully, to get other cards so that there were multiple things I was working on. So the idea is there's 7 different locations. Mm-hmm. The different locations do different things. Like one lets you get new missions.
You randomly lay them out to form a circle, or you do a rectangle. That's what we did because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So one of the locations lets you get new missions. I think that's what they were called. One of the locations, many of the locations let you get the exotic crystals.
Table scatter.
So there's 3 different colors of the crystals. There's red, green, and blue. Purple or blue.
If you're trying to picture these in your head, it's table scattered gems, from Ascension.
Yeah. And you're trying to collect a certain number of these gems to complete missions or whatever that you have in your hand.
And those are a combination of set collection and pick up and deliver.
Yeah.
Because you have to collect the gems from different locations in the board and then deliver them to... There's one specific location that you can use to turn in these cards. To turn in the
cards, yeah. And when you turn them in, then they go out in front of you. They're worth points, and a lot of them have, abilities that help you throughout the game.
They may give you a discount on... if you're collecting... If you want to focus on the purple ones, you can get a card that gives you discounts on the purple missions.
Yeah.
Have we... I guess we'll just keep calling them missions. I don't know.
I don't remember what they're called.
It says here, destinations feature actions such as gaining a certain type of crystal, acquiring new badge to work towards,
Oh, maybe they're exploration badges that you're trying
Yeah.
to do. Use the crystals to complete exploration badges.
Yeah.
So they're not missions, they're badges. But I mean, it's
Whatever.
the same. It's like a mission, it's a badge. It's the cards that you have to complete to get points to win the game.
Yeah. And it has 3, they're not resin, but they're just 3 little plastic rockets. And that you go there, and then you move the rocket to the next open destination clockwise. So it's very easy to get blocked by someone going to a place, and you're like, okay, well, I have to wait for it to come around the board again before I can
Right.
go there. Or you can use a fast pass to move it a few extra spaces, but still in the direction of clockwise, so you can't use it to go back.
There's a robot. It's not 3D like the spaceships. It's just like a little standee.
No, I want to say that they were doing, this was a Kickstarter, and maybe the robot was,
There are pictures on BGG of like a 3D printed robot.
I thought maybe that the robot was like the Kickstarter exclusive, but yeah, no, I see that there's a 3D print file for the Scout robot.
Yeah, but so the robot is how do you explain what you do with the robot?
So yeah,
Whoever controls the robot moves it. Just all they do is move it to a certain spot.
and if somebody goes and triggers the action of that spot, you get stuff
Yeah,
because you sent the robot.
because you're the one that's in
thematically,
control of the robot.
I don't know.
You're the evil mastermind controlling the robot. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Honestly,
know if
I
there's
don't.
thematic.
I don't feel like the robot was really an important part of the game. Like the game would be just fine if you took the robot completely out.
Yeah, it's just an extra way to get the pink crystals, basically, or
Yeah.
a fast pass,
Yeah,
which is fine, whatever.
I enjoyed playing the game. It's a quick game. I think 20 minutes. 25 minutes, and that was with us reading through the instructions.
Yeah.
So it's really easy to play. Like I think this would be a great game to play with younger players. So because you could teach it to them so easily.
Yeah.
And, it's fun enough that you're not going to go, oh my God, I don't want to play this game with the kids.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable worker placement style game.
Yeah.
The theme is what really.
I love me some space games.
Yeah, and you're not gonna. It's not overly spacey. Like a lot of space games, I think are just like 4X games. When I think of space games, I
Right.
think of 4X games.
Like this one, it's a space game, but it's an accessible space game. So you're not looking at like Eclipse or something that's
Yeah.
going to take a long time to get into. It's a quick game. You can just get into it. We actually started playing it to fill time until the people that we were going to play games with had finished the game they were playing. Because they were playing Underwater Cities, which is a long game. And they were close to the end. So we're like, hey, let's play Space Park. And then we'll get done about the time they do and we can play a game together.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I didn't dislike the game. I don't know that I would run out and buy it, but I would definitely play it again.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I also don't think that I would run out and buy it, but if I want to play a space game, I've got a lot of space games that I can play.
Right.
And while I think that it was a fun game and I wouldn't mind playing it again, I don't think that I would buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, like, if I had a friend that said, I really want to play Space Park, I'd be like, okay, I don't mind playing
Yeah.
it. But do I need to add it to my collection? No.
Maybe not. I honestly kind of feel that way about a lot of the games that we played. Not all of them. There's a couple that I thought were standouts. And I guess we can talk about the next game,
Yeah.
which is another game that I don't know that I necessarily need to run out and buy, but I liked it.
I would add this one to my collection. It's Trap Words, by
yep.
CGE.
Check Games Edition.
And it's...
No, I've been thinking all day about how to explain this to people. Okay. So, the 80s game that came with the buzzer, Taboo. Mm-hmm. You have a list of words. There's one word at the top that you're trying to get people to guess. And then you have like 5 words that you can't say.
I remember that.
So, like, if you want to get someone to talk about, like, washing machine, maybe you can't say laundry or clothes or soap or water. So, you got, how do you explain that without using those words?
Right.
Well, that's your problem. So this takes that idea and makes it so you don't know what those words that you're not allowed to say are, because
Right.
the other team
because
has
the other
written
team
them.
is going to pick them. And while you need to stay within the spirit of the game when you're picking them, so we were playing like the Magic Edition or
Yeah.
whatever.
The theme does nothing for me in this game.
No, I don't think the theme matters. Like, just have words. But like, we would get things like troll, and
Oh, there's an airplane.
we would like words that we would put on there would be like bridge, riddle, goats, like for the 3 Billy
Right.
Goats gruff. So and depending on where the player is on the dungeon board, that determines how many trap words you can use for them.
Right. So you, as a team, you have these little pieces of paper. You come up with like 10 words that you think that you want to try to use, that you think that the other people will say. And then, like John D was saying, if you can only use 3 of them, you go through and you like cross out the ones that you can't use. And then the other team tries to guess. So you'll have a guesser squad, because you can play with more. I mean, it says 4 to 8 players.
And I would say you definitely want to have at least, I think we played it with 4. I think it would be a lot more fun at like 6.
Mm-hmm. So one person on the team knows what the word is,
Yes.
and they have to try to get the other team to guess.
No, they're trying to get their own team to guess.
Yeah, sorry, the other people on the team, yeah.
Yes.
And they can say whatever they want to, but the other team knows what words they're not allowed to say. So let's say it's troll, and I want to say like, okay, so this is someone, I got to think outside the box a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think thematically you're supposed to describe like a fantasy style troll, but you could also say like, okay, it's someone who tries to make you mad by telling you lies on the internet. Now, the other team could argue like, hey, that's not within the style, that's not within the spirit of the game, because this is the fantasy.
Which I would disagree with that, because I think you're just trying to get the person to say that word.
I think the words are the fantasy words and not necessarily how you
right.
get there.
That's what I think.
So if someone did that while I was playing for troll, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. That checks out. That's legit.
So in addition to the word thing, and I thought the word thing was fun. Like usually I'll say, oh, it's a word game, I'm not sure I want to play this. This one was fun. There's an extra layer added to it. It's kind of, you take this word game and then you add like a dungeon crawl to it, which I thought was kind of cool. You could totally play it without that dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
It wouldn't change anything. Like there's a final boss that adds some restriction on,
Yeah.
like, oh, your team only gets 5 guesses total. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine for what it is.
And there's
but-
like a monster that moves closer to you as if you don't get your word. So I like the dungeon crawl layer, especially if you're going to play it with gamers. But it's definitely a layer of the game that if you're playing it at a party or whatever, if you don't put that out, it's not a huge deal.
No,
but
I
I
don't think
do
you're
think
gonna
it's a
lose
cool.
anything.
I thought it was a fun layer though. It was kind of a cool addition to a word game. It made it unique enough that I wasn't saying, oh, this is like a gazillion other party games.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a twist on that, but
I enjoyed it. I had fun playing it. I would add it to my collection. I don't think I'd buy it full price, but like if a miniature
buy it
market
for, like,
price.
20 or under. And I don't know what the
I
retail
don't know what the
is.
retail is on it.
But I would, if it's a $30 game, which I don't think that it is, because it's the same size box as like Codenames,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I'd
similar
play-
content.
I wouldn't mind paying like 20 or 25. I would not pay over 25.
I wouldn't pay over 20 for it, but that's for
But
what it
it's-
was.
yeah,
It
I
was
mean-
not bad.
It was fun. The art's really, really fun and cute. And it's a game that if I'm getting together with friends, especially not necessarily like hardcore gamer friends, or if there's more than 5 people, so it's hard to find games to play. It's a perfectly good game to take out and play when you have too big of a group to really play a board game.
So the examples here on the BGG page, that the word is axe. So you might say it's a thing that a dwarf could use, but the other team wrote down dwarf because Lord of the Rings, Gimli, and my axe, etc.
Right.
Or you could do a more interesting out of the box thing and say, okay, so it's a tool that is used by a man who has a beard. And
You could also go a complete different way and say some people will use this when they say ask.
when you, I think that's an illegal clue.
Is it?
I think so, because you can't say that it sounds like a word. And I think that would be too close. But you could say, all right, are you familiar with a brand of paper towels that has a lumberjack on it? But you probably wouldn't sound it. Lumberjack is probably a trap word.
Lumberjack, yeah.
But you could be like, okay, there's a brand of paper towels that has a mascot, and he would use this kind of thing in his job. And you're like, okay, let me think, what paper towel mascot? Oh, Bounty. I think it's Bounty that has.
I think
the
you're right.
lumberjack.
Yeah.
An axe. Okay, cool. You got there without using one of the trap words.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting
Kat and I were
experience.
pretty good at it.
I really, when Swan was the thing, and I tried to go with Natalie Portman ballet movie, and you guys had ballet as one of the trap.
Because we knew that's where you were going to go with it. We just knew.
And I also thought about saying like a super fancy duck or super fancy goose.
we had. I think we had duck on there because of the ugly duckling story.
Yeah,
So-
it would have been an interesting thing to figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
But not knowing what words I'm not allowed to
and
say.
that's what I
is the
enjoy.
key.
That's what I really enjoyed about the game. That was where the magic was in this game, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think we played it with 4 people. I think it would be a lot more fun with 6 or 8.
Yeah, I think so. Especially in some of the later rounds when you have restrictions on how many guesses you're allowed to have.
Right.
Because then you really have to be like, okay, team, we got to work together on this.
Right. Don't just blurt something out. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I would 100% play it again.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also played a game that I don't know that you qualify as a game. We had a discussion about it while we were playing it, and I think the consensus was that it is a game. Cobra Paw.
Yeah.
It's a thing where you roll a die, two dice actually.
There's a bunch of dominoes out.
Yeah, they're little dominoes, and they all have, I guess there's 6 symbols. Mm-hmm. So you have 2 identical D6s, and all of the dominoes have unique patterns. So they might have a double of the same one or whatever. And so you roll the 2 D6s, and then you, with 2 fingers, grab the matching domino, even if it's in front of another player.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah, like it's a game that's really good for people that are good at pattern recognition.
When I was showing how to play the game, I was on it like immediately.
Yeah, you were.
Immediately.
But then when we actually played,
we started
you
playing,
were not on it at all.
I don't know what happened.
I never got a single domino because I am just not good at speedily like picking something up and finding it in a jumbled mess. That's just not my strong suit. And it's a 5-minute game, if even that. You can learn to play it in about 30 seconds and play it in like 2 minutes.
I think in the
Seriously.
rules they're like, all right, after you've played, play it like 3 more times, because
We played it twice.
it doesn't last long enough to really justify having gotten it out of the box.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't a game. I mean, I guess it was a game.
I guess technically it's a game. It's just not.
It's not an activity. It's definitely a game. It's made by Bananagrams.
Yeah.
So maybe that tells you something about it. Here's the description. This is it. It's, I guess, 2 sentences. In Cobra Paw, players take turns rolling the dice, which feature 6 unique symbols. Then race to grab the tile with the matching pattern before anyone else. Whoever grabs 6 tiles first wins.
Yep. And that really sums up the game.
That's it.
I mean, I didn't dislike the game. I just didn't really like it either. I was very meh on it. To the point where it was a play and win and I didn't put my name on it.
If it was available for like $5, I'd think about it, but still probably pass on it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even put my name on it to try to win it in the
No.
play to win.
No, if If you have
this
younger
was in
kids,
if this was in my collection, it would never come off the shelf.
No.
Never. Because there are even games that I would rather play with my nephews than this game.
and the box is also not a normal standard size
So
shape.
it would be a pain in the butt to put it on your game shelf.
It's like a little hexagon,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. I mean, honestly, they could have put it into like a little bag, a little cloth bag.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Like if it came with a cloth bag, not that they put it in a cloth. So Bananagrams does that.
Yeah.
Like you want to buy a copy of Bananagrams?
It's in a banana.
It's in a banana.
I don't understand the game theme at all. Like it's cats, but it's just symbols.
They're ninjas.
Right. They're ninja cats.
They're ninja
But I
cats.
don't you don't see that in the actual game. It's just symbols.
Well, the symbols are, well, not all of them. Some of them are kanji. So like you've got a few kanji here, and then a circle and like a flower. So I guess they were like, oh, it's Japanese. What's funny that we can make the theme? What about ninja cats?
Yeah. I mean
Sure.
yeah. So yeah, Cobra Pro. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
No, if you're a kid, it's great. If you're an adult,
You would dread playing it more than a couple times, I think.
yeah. Rec Raiders.
Yeah, so Rec Raiders, I think I've played it twice. Jared's played it once.
Kids Table.
Yeah. Jared and I have some conflicting thoughts about the game, I think.
I have a few key issues that are deal breakers for me. And, other than that, I like everything else about the game, except for a couple things that I think are... There's one thing that is superfluous and does not add, I feel, anything to the game.
Superfluous.
Yep. And then...
So,
and then there's a mechanic of the game I can't get past.
So it is a dice rolling set collection worker placement game. The basic overview...
It's an underwater, like, diving...
It's underwater. You're like diving to try to collect treasure and put it in the museum. There's a box
But
lid
you're also abducting fish to put them in aquariums.
in the museum.
Johnny, I've been to a museum.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk about it.
So there's a board with several different wrecks that you're rating, and there's a box top that you do the dice rolling in, which I do think was a neat mechanic. I really liked the way that they did this.
And I hated it.
I liked it a lot.
So it really depends on when you roll the dice into the box top where they land.
Yeah, so there are symbols in the box top. You roll the dice, and any of the dice that are on a symbol, they go in that spot and people can draft them and get whatever that thing is.
I love the idea. I hate the execution.
I loved it. I think it's great. That's the part of the game I thought was unique and fun. Because I mean, maybe it's superfluous. Maybe
it just adds like bonus stuff that you get when you take the die. So like
But you
if
need
it's
the
the
bonus
starfish,
stuff.
then okay, you do need the starfish
Yes.
to buy the aquariums.
Yes.
That I also felt were an unnecessary addition to the game. So both issues.
Well, you
of
also
mine,
use the starfish and the conch shell and
Yeah, but you can get those
other
other
things.
ways. You can get those through the other mechanic. When you're taking stuff and putting it in your vault, if it's an exact match, you get those as bonus things, which then
Right.
you can use as wild cards. I don't know. Okay, so here's the sticking point of me and this game has to come after the explanation of how these mechanics work. Because if I just rant about why I don't like them without
Yeah.
explaining what they
Right.
are,
So the dice, they go. There's like a little tiny board that has the two different symbols. I think it's a conch shell.
I want to say there's four
there's-
things on the
There's
board.
a seashell, a conch shell.
A clam shell. Isn't
No,
there?
that's the seashell.
Oh,
There's
that's what you
three.
meant.
There's three.
There's the starfish, the clam shell, the spirally shell.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then a
looking at
blank.
it. There's three. There's the conch shell.
Well, the blank. I was counting the blank as a.
Yeah, and you roll the dice, and any of the symbols that the dice touch then go onto that little board in that symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And any of the ones that aren't touching anything just go in the blank spot. And then you draft dice, and the number on the die is in each spot on the board. Each rec that you raid has 6 spots on it, and if you take a 6, then you can go on any of the 6s in any of the recs. And when you go in the various recs, you are getting these little pieces, basically.
They're chits.
Little chits that you use to...
They're cardboard cubes.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're trying to get a certain number of those to complete cards, basically, like set collection type things. So you know that you need to go to this rec because you need like one type of treasure and you need a certain number of them. I liked the fact that also as you're collecting them, if you collect them in the exact order that is on the card, then you get like extra stuff. Or if you just have the things needed but they're not in the order that they're listed on the card, you still are completing that card, but you don't get like whatever the extra thing is.
Yeah, you don't get the bonus whatever.
So that's the main part of the game. There's also like a side thing where you collect aquariums. Like you're putting together aquariums, and you can get bottom pieces, middle pieces, and top pieces.
There is a middle piece that has an axolotl.
There is. So you get those like using like your starfish or whatever. There's like starfish and seashells, like different combinations of those to get them. And the aquariums give you extra victory points at the end of the game.
And honestly, if you completely ignored every other mechanic in the game and only collected these, you're going to win by a lot.
Yeah.
And that's another problem that I have with them. I think they're too powerful.
I think especially if you complete them, because the tops...
The tops give you
the
bonuses
tops
based
were-
on...
The tops were kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they give you bonuses based on what types of pieces you have in that aquarium. And they can really add up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I liked the aquarium thing, but it definitely wasn't a needed part of the game. Like, if you played it completely without the aquariums, it would still be a decent game.
I think so. I don't really have anything else to say about Rec Raiders. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't
I had
hate it.
fun while we were playing it.
I mean, if somebody wanted to play it with me, I'd play it again. It's another one. I think this is the theme of the day. I wouldn't buy it.
Yeah. All right. We also played, because we had some people with us that had not yet played it, Welcome to.
I love this one.
I adore this game. Jeez, John D, calm down. What'd you do?
I hit my wedding ring.
Why'd you do that? We've talked about Welcome to a lot. If this is the first time that you've listened to one of our episodes, I'll just really quickly say it's a paper and pencil game where you...
It falls into the genre of roll and write,
It's roll
but
and write
instead of
with card,
rolling, you're
yeah.
using cards.
and you're designing a neighborhood, and
Basically, there's numbers come out. You have to put them in one of the neighborhoods. But just like in a regular neighborhood, once you have a 7 somewhere, you can't put a 9 before it. They have to be in the order that they, like, in numerical order.
yeah.
So as you get more and more address numbers written onto your neighborhoods,
It becomes more difficult
Yes.
to continue to add new houses.
Yes.
And that's where the fun lies. It's
it's kind of a puzzle.
yeah, it's kind of a math puzzle, but
Yeah.
I like it quite a bit. And,
I think it's a really fun game. I'm excited. I got my Kickstarter stuff recently that has like it has dry erase boards.
Oh, yeah.
It has like different themed neighborhoods. Like there's a Halloween themed one and a Christmas one and a post-apocalyptic one, a zombie one. So I mean, I like the different themed neighborhoods. It's just basically different boards that you're playing on. But I was really excited to get it, and I'm looking forward to playing it again. It's a fun game. So it's from I don't remember the publisher.
Deep Water Games.
Yes, Deepwater Games.
You're welcome.
It is one that sells out very quickly from pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, 'cause it's great.
So if you want to try this game, the new printing of it probably will be hitting stores like any time now since the Kickstarter recently delivered. So I'd say grab it quickly because it will probably sell out again.
Yeah. Cool. We also played an amazing party game that is coming soon.
Yes.
Maybe?
I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Okay. Well, while John D looks it up, let me just go through this. So there.
It's coming to Kickstarter.
Yes,
We
it's coming to
finished
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So there is a concept here that I think that is better expressed if I just do one. So
Yeah.
I'm using one of the example ones here. Pinning a tune for everyone on the planet to bellow. Do you know, John D?
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Pinning a tune for everyone on the planet to bellow.
No. No, I don't know that one.
Well, the answer here says, I write the songs that make the whole world sing.
Oh, yeah, I would have never. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Having discomfort caused by a need for food similar to the wild dog-like animal.
Hungry like the wolf, Duran Duran.
So basically,
And you
this-
get bonus points if you can name the artist. You also get more points if you can
sing it.
sing parts of it.
So it's a really fun game with groups. I'd say you really need at least 6 people to play the game. You really need 2 teams and 2 decent teams. Like we played it with 8 people. There were 4 people on
My
each
team we were woof.
Amazing.
Woof. You're welcome.
You guys were really good. I really like the game. It's coming to Kickstarter in June from Flying Lemur Games. And
we'll plug it whenever
it's up, yeah. I would have to say
not
that
a sponsor.
a lot of party games I'm very meh on. This one we finished playing and I 100% would have turned around and played it again.
But we didn't want to go through all the
cards. We are going to have it.
Yes.
If you will be at Geekway to the West, look for Jared or myself. We have a prototype with us, and we would be happy to show it to you.
Yes, I will absolutely play this game. Now, probably what'll happen.
There's one more set of cards that we have not seen. Once we play through those, we will help other people play,
Yeah,
but I
I'm
don't
not
think it
gonna-
would be fair for us to play it again.
I'll read the clues. I'll be the clue giver.
Clue giver. Yeah. That way both teams can...
But it wouldn't be fair for me. I don't think it was fair for me to be on
You
the
were
team
so
anymore.
good at it. You were so good at it. It was ridiculous.
So they're going to make other versions.
The prototype is 80 songs.
Yes, it's just 80 songs, and that's my jam.
Yeah.
80 songs.
Yeah.
I'm all about 80 music.
But they're going to have like varying... There's going to be like
It's going to be like a 90s
90
one.
songs, Broadway tunes.
There's a lot of rooms for
expansions.
anything.
Like it's this game. There's the sky's the limit on what they can do with it.
Well, I guess the Billboard Top 40 is the limit actually.
Well, in
Well,
theory.
there's some deep cuts,
there are,
but
and
most of it is
they
top
could
40
do-
stuff that you would have heard of at least.
right. Like if they do a Broadway tunes one, that's not gonna. They're gonna be well-known ones,
Right.
And
Like that one song from Rent.
yeah, 525.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Seasons of Love.
Okay, well,
Show tunes are kind of my jam. So
Shapoopy.
this is a great game. There is going to be a really cool backer level called the guest DJ.
Guest DJ, yeah.
And you'll be able to back for as guest DJ.
I may do that because I've got some deep cuts.
So you don't get to pick the song. They will give you a song, and you get to write the paraphrase for it.
I've got some deep cuts, John D.
So they'll give you a song, you write the paraphrase for it, and then you're going to send them your autograph or your signature, and they're going to put it on the card like your autograph as
Right.
the DJ.
Right. So send them a fake autograph because I don't want anybody to steal my identity and sign up for credit cards in my name.
Right. So anyway,
You can do that. All you need is someone's signature, and you can buy a house
right.
with their credit. Not with my credit. Well, maybe with my credit.
Not with mine. Yeah. So this is a fantastic game. I loved it. I would play it a gazillion times if there were a bunch of different packs to play.
Right.
I will back it on day one, probably at the DJ guest pack level.
Now, as much praise as we're heaping on this, I do have one major problem with it, and it's the same problem that I have with every trivia game. At some point, which for me is going to be very soon, you're going to be able to know the answers. Now, I think this has this problem more than like a Wits and Wagers type game. Because Wits and Wagers, it's like, how tall is the Statue of Liberty measured in Oreo cookies or something stupid like that? Like, you're not going
Right.
to memorize that. 80s songs, though, you've probably already got memorized. There's a special part of the brain that develops for that kind of stuff, for like pattern recognition and stuff. Like there was a study recently that people that grew up playing Pokemon have a special set of nerve clusters dedicated just to pattern recognition of Pokemon images and names.
Right. So my thought on this is you would almost have to, if you own the game, you would almost have to treat it like you do a game of, like a copy of Time's Up, in which, like, if you, I don't know if you have played Time's Up very much, but when you have a, you know,
I
some of
have
the
played
cards,
the game that it's based on.
So with Time's Up itself, once you've played cards, like you'll put them different in the box, or so that you don't ever play those again, because you would have an unfair advantage
Right.
because you've seen how people
Right,
did
you
those
know what the
clues or
charades would
whatever.
be, or-
yeah.
yeah.
So you don't ever play through the same cards again, which is why there's so much content out there for that game. And I feel
Right.
like this game would be similar.
Right, and the nice thing about this is because it's, I guess, restricted to popular music, they can do like, okay, here's the first one that's coming out is totally 80s, but they could do another 80s pack of
Right.
songs that they didn't
And I don't
use,
think-
or a 90s pack or 2000s.
Yeah. And
So
there's
you
going to be
can
4 expansions
get
right off the
more.
back. They said there's going to be, the main box will be, will focus on 80s. There's going to be 4 expansions or whatever that you'll be able to get through the campaign. The 70s, the 90s, the 2000s, and a mixtape
Right.
expansion. So those are going to be the first 5 sets that they're going to be doing. Their hope is that the game will be popular enough that they will continue to come out with new content, which I would be 100% on board for.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this, and absolutely, I'm going to buy a copy. But it'll be put on the shelf of games that only come out when I have a bunch of people over,
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to play it
and
with
I'm not
4
going to
people.
play it. I'm going to run it.
And I think
It's like my copy of Two Rooms and a Boom. I'm never going to get to play my own copy
right.
because I'll have to organize.
And I would play this until I've seen too many of the cards, and then I would just run it. But I think
Like, oh, I remember this one. It's Atomic Kitten, whatever. That's there's a deep cut for you.
no kidding. I like the game a lot. It has some of the normal problems you have with party games, but as far as party games go, this could very easily hit the top of my list, like up there with Wits and Wagers. So anyway, that's Paraphrase, Songs and Other Words. It's going to be on Kickstarter in June.
Yep, and we'll have a link for that whenever it's live. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and by the way,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
anybody
Yes.
that does like if you watch reviews of it, they do have a special,
Yeah, there's a special
reviewer
pack.
so that if you watch the reviews, they're not going to be giving away
Which
stuff
we
that's going to be in the
do
game.
have those.
We do.
But if you play it with us at Geekway, sorry, you're going to play with the other cards that we have.
Right,
too,
but the
so.
game itself is going to have a lot more
Yeah,
than what we have in the
yeah.
prototype.
So you might get spoilered a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I don't expect you to remember some of these weird paraphrases.
Right.
Okay, John, do you want to do this next little area that you have here, or do you want to go to this?
Yeah,
this
I'll
guy down
go.
here?
I'll just talk. I played a couple of games that weren't at the Nashville Tabletop Day, and the one I really want to talk about is Teotihuacan.
Yep.
Or Teotihuacan City of Gods. It is a really, really cool game. It's been on my radar for a long time, but I don't own the game and hadn't gotten a chance to play it. And I got a chance to play it last weekend with some friends, and it's really cool. There's a lot to the game as far as when you sit down to play the game, to learn the game. It is, I'm going to say, it 100% overwhelming. As the game was being explained to me, my eyes were going cross-eyed. I was like, there's no way, there's too much to remember. But once you start playing the game, it is really easy, and it clicks very quickly. But there's like 7 or 8 different sections on the board where you're trying to put your workers that all do different things. And on those sections, there's 2 different spots that do 2 different things.
John D, what is the theme of this game?
Oh, so it's set in Teotihuacan, which was, I believe, an Aztec.
I don't know. It was in Mesoamerica. It was pre-Columbian, but
Yeah.
I don't know that it's specifically. I guess it is Aztec, but I don't
think so.
know.
So you
Oh,
are.
yes, because it says here, as the dawn of the Aztecs comes closer,
Well, there we go.
player efforts and their ability to feed their workforce are evaluated.
So yeah, that's the theme. Each player commands a force of worker dice. They grow in strength throughout the game. You are going to, on your turn, you get just to move one worker around, and the board's modular. You get to move one worker by choosing the different areas on the board. And they'll cost you, like if other players are on the area that you're going to, it costs you because because they're also there. So that's always a concern is I'm like, oh, I really want to go to this place and do this thing. And there's 2 other players there. So it's going to cost me money to do this.
And John D, do you pay that to the other players or to
No,
the bank?
you pay it to the bank.
I just thought that maybe some people would be like, would not. If you haven't played the game, I think that would be a fair question.
Yes. One of my favorite aspects to the game is you're actually building a pyramid in the center of the board. And
It's not as cool as the Camel Up pyramid.
no, but you build this one. There's tiles.
Like little mahjong tiles.
Yeah. And one of the locations that you can go on the board lets you get these tiles and place them on the pyramid. And that is really cool to like see the pyramid as it's being built. I can post pictures on our Instagram of the game when we played it. I really, really liked it. There's a lot going on though. A lot going on. There's set collection, there's the tile placement, there's the worker placement. It's kind of a rondel game.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated.
It's kind of a point salad-ish game, and it's complicated, but it's only complicated in the fact that when you're trying to learn it, you're going to go cross-eyed. Once you start playing, it's not difficult.
Right, because you're not doing everything all at once.
No. And
When the game is being taught, it's like, okay, here's all of the game. But then when you're actually playing it, you're only doing one thing at a time.
Yeah. The thing that the game is lacking in, there are no there are no player aids in the game, which you really, really, really need one for this game.
I think there's some in the BGG files.
There are, and
Yeah.
the people that I played with had printed them, and
Yeah.
they were completely invaluable. You have to have them. So if you get this game, if you play this game, grab the player aids off of BGG, because especially if it's your first time playing the game, they will be extremely helpful.
Yeah, the user Be On Your Way has posted what I think is probably the one to get.
But I really liked the game. It's one that I definitely want to add to my collection at this point. It was on my radar for a long time. I saw a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, you've talked to me about it a few times.
Yeah, and I totally want to get it and play it with you because I think you will really like this game. So, since Jared hasn't played it, we can't really have a lot of discussion on it.
Right. I've seen it several times, which is I'm familiar with what the game looks like, but I have not actually sat down and played a full game of it or a partial game even.
But yeah, it's on my list of games I want to get, and maybe there'll be a future episode where we talk about it.
Yeah, we could do a whole Mesoamerica episode.
We could.
Yeah, because there's quite a few games.
There are, surprisingly.
Okay, well, so the Origins Awards 2019 nominees are up, and we're not going to go through all of them because there's a lot. But there's some key games on here that John D and I have some feelings about that we
Yeah, so we're basically
we'll
going to
discuss.
just go over a couple of the specific awards. We're not going to go over the board games category, the card games category, and the family games categories are really the only categories that I think we need to talk about.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's not a funny game accessory this time.
Yeah, so the board games.
Well, I don't know. There's squig dice and also magic carpet, but
Yeah, so the board games, I'm just going to run down the list real quick. There's Brass Birmingham from Roxley.
Mm-hmm.
Chronicles of Crime from Lucky Duck Games, which that is on our list of games to play for a future app-driven game episode.
And I also like Brass. I own Brass.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about Chronicles of Crime. So Cryptid from Osprey Games. Everdell from Starling Games, and I've mentioned
John
Everdell
and I
before.
both like that.
Really like Everdell. I haven't managed to get a copy.
Oh,
but
really? I thought you had it.
No, I don't. I really want it.
Whose copy have you played? Did
Larry and
have it?
Megan. Yeah.
I've played my copy. Well,
I love the game. If
Yeah.
I can, I will buy a copy eventually when I find it.
sure,
somewhere. Gizmos from CMON. Pulsar 2849 from
Yep.
Czech Games Edition.
I have that.
Rising Sun from CMON. Root,
Have
which
that.
I think is, if I had to predict, I would say Root's going to be the
Yeah,
winner.
I don't want to predict, but
If I
it's
was
either Root or the
predicting.
next game.
So Root from Letter Games or Space Base from AEG.
Yeah, Space Base is hugely popular. The new expansion just dropped. Space Base is kind of like Machikoro, but better. So I
That's
could
what I've
I
heard.
could
I
see
haven't
it.
played it, so
I could see it taking it. I could see Root taking it.
I could see Root taking it. Now I think Everdell and Brass and maybe Chronicles of Crime are
All good
definitely
games.
and they're definitely going to give the winner a run for their money.
And just being nominated, honestly, is enough for a lot of these games to. I mean, how many games come out in a year,
Right.
And they've narrowed it down to these as the quote unquote the best of the
Right.
year.
or at least the biggest in the cult of the new.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that section.
Honestly, it's going to be Rising Sun because it's Eric
Probably.
Lang.
It probably will be. But so card games, Anatomy Flux from Looney Labs. Almost every year, one of the Flux
Yeah,
games
there's
is
always
in
a
this.
Flux game.
Choose Your Own Adventure, House of Danger. We've talked about that one a little bit before.
We have.
From Z-Man Games. Dark Souls, the card game from Steam Forged Games. I don't know anything about that game.
Mm-hmm.
Get the MacGuffin from Looney Labs. Maiden's Quest from WizKids, which we
we've-
talked about on a
yeah.
very recent episode. The Mind from Pandasaurus. And Villainous from Ravensburger.
Now, I think it's a bit of a stretch here to put Villainous in the card game
I feel
section.
like it almost needs to go in the board game
because
section.
you do have a board.
Yeah, I was really surprised to see it in
You
this.
you have a board.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see this one
And
in
it's
this
not like
category.
it's optional that you have a board because you have to have the board because that has your actions on it.
Yeah.
So I disagree.
So I think
As much as I want to say Maiden's Quest,
I would love to see Maiden's Quest win, but it won't. If it does, I will be really, really
it'd be
excited.
awesome.
I will be so excited. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say The Mind or Villainous.
and
Just
see,
based on popularity.
Villainous is not even a card game.
I know
it has
doesn't
cards.
Fit. It doesn't fit. So
But
if it
Space
wins,
Base
it's-
also has cards.
Yeah, like I don't understand. But The Mind is extremely popular.
Yeah.
I could see it taking this prize.
CCGs, we don't really have a lot to say. There's Cardfight Vanguard, Dragon Ball, HeroClix is a card game. It's collectible, I guess, so that's fine. Keyforge, which honestly Keyforge might take it.
I think it will.
There's the new Magic expansion, the new Pokemon expansion, the new
Light
Star Wars, the
Seekers.
new Yu-Gi-Oh. We don't play these anymore. I used to.
Keyforge. I like Keyforge. I
Yeah.
don't own it though.
I used to be super deep into Pokemon, like going to national championship and like high level play, and I am done with collectible games forever.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm done here.
Yeah.
Family games
Family
though.
games. Yeah. So
I've
we've
got a few of these, quite a few actually.
We've played some of these
Yeah.
recently. So The Climbers from Capstone Games.
Great game.
A Kid in the Shuffle from Wutzelpug Games.
Great game.
I love that game. I hope it wins. Really, really, really want it to win. The Mansky Caper. I've played
Great
that.
game.
I loved it from Calliope Games. Pantone.
Yeah.
Pantone. The game from Cryptozoic.
Not a game.
I'm very met on
Not
that
a
one.
game. It's an activity.
It's a Cryptozoic game. Spy Club from Renegade Game Studios.
Unfamiliar with that one, unfortunately.
Strawberry Ninja. We are
We've-
unfortunately familiar with that one.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the game. It just wasn't fun for me.
Right. Super Kitty Bug Slap. I am unfortunately also familiar with that one.
Steve Jackson.
The Tea Dragon Society card game. We played that one recently
Yeah.
for an episode. Really cute.
Rather enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's really cute. Great family game. And then When I Dream from Asmodee. I'm not familiar with that one at all.
And then we've got some miniatures games. We've got Fallout. We've got Kill Team. Kings of War. Necromunda. Okay, there's one that like Fallout. I know what Fallout is, but I couldn't tell you anything about the miniatures game.
Right.
Necromunda. Okay, I know about that. It's a Warhammer game. There's a Game of Thrones miniatures game here. And then there's a Star Wars miniatures game. Great.
If I
Okay.
had to pick, it's going to be Star Wars.
And then there's some role-playing games. there's a
There's
bunch.
of them.
The only one that I'm like that drew my attention. There were a couple. Apparently, there's a Flash Gordon role playing game.
Right. I would play that now that I know it exists.
There's a Mutants and Masterminds game book on here. There's a new Numenera on here. Star Trek Adventures starter set.
Yeah, because that was new last year.
And there's a new Vampire VTM
Yep, I have
5th
opinions
edition
about that.
which is not White Wolf. It's not published by White Wolf. So
White Wolf doesn't publish anymore.
No, White Wolf doesn't publish anything. You buy the
Onyx
PDFs.
Path Publishing does the Chronicles of Darkness stuff, and Modiphius Entertainment does the original like World of Darkness stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know, whatever. And then there's some role playing supplements that are I don't know why they're
Role-playing
different from
supplements,
role playing
whatever.
games
Yeah,
because this is
they're books that they've added to the role playing games,
Yeah.
whatever.
and then game accessories,
accessories.
which again there's nothing funny. Like last year there was
Some weird ones.
some weird ones, but this one there's just magic
Well,
carpet
there's
and squig
squig dice.
Yeah, I don't know what that. I mean, I guess we could click on it and find out what squig dice is, but like, does anybody? Okay, it's a Games Workshop product.
Okay,
and
they look like
they're like
they have
flesh.
Teeth. Yeah, they look like flesh with teeth and stuff.
Because
on.
they are based on a squig,
Yeah.
which is a Warhammer
So.
monster.
Yep.
Um,
So, are you backing any Kickstarters right now? Because I am.
Yes.
I am
well,
backing one.
John D, should we plug? Well, let's talk about the Kickstarters that we have on here, and then we'll plug the special thing.
Well, and I'm backing one right now that you didn't. Put
Yeah,
on.
I didn't put that because I didn't know what Kickstarters you were backing. So yeah, if you've got one, then go for it.
I am backing, and I'm surprised you didn't say anything about this. The Hostage Negotiator crime or career,
What?
Back
So am
Kickstarter.
I.
right?
What are the odds?
We don't need to say a lot about this because we just recently did an episode where we talked a lot about this game and about the Kickstarter
Yeah.
that was getting ready to
Yeah, I didn't put it
launch.
on the list because I honestly didn't feel like we needed to spend a lot of time on it. But yes, we should announce. If you listen to our previous episode, we said that we would let
We'll
you
provide
know.
the link. We'll provide the link for it. We are going to be playing through the series of it. And so we will have probably either some bonus content episodes about it specifically, or there'll be another episode later on that we revisit it once we've gone through a lot of that
Yeah.
extra content.
So there's that. Is that the only one you've got?
That's the only one I'm backing
Okay.
right now.
Well, I've got one here that's not going to fund, but that's okay. Maybe it will. I think this is a really cute game. It's called Rusty Industry, a fast-paced engine-building board game. Title's too long. Feel the influence of an interactive economy as the effects of supply and demand shape your choices. Too abstract. Maybe I'm just telling you why I think it's not funding, but it's an economic game which people like. But also people don't like. So the blurb here: in a quiet farming community on the outskirts of the capital city, a community of peasants makes an incredible discovery. Beneath their fields lay the ruins of an advanced society. What? As this comes quickly to the attention of the Rusty King, the boisterous monarch of the land, whose love of riches knows no bounds. The king devises an ingenious plan to establish a great industrial empire, assemble the brightest minds across the continents, plural. Okay, I don't know how that works. Anyway, the point is here, it's an economic market manipulation game with some resource management. And I believe it is available to play on Tabletop Simulator, so you can check it out. I don't think it's going to fund. I really like the art. I think it's really...
It's cute.
It reminds me of something, and I can't quite put my finger on what the art reminds me of.
Reminds me of Rugrats.
Rugrats? Okay.
At least the people
Okay.
in it do a little bit.
But, you know, it's kind of floundering here. It's not going to... I don't think it's going to pick up any steam, but I could be wrong. I haven't backed it. It's saved, and if it gets towards the end of the campaign and it looks like it's going to fund, I'll throw some money at it. And I realize that's the problem.
It is available to play on Tabletopia.
Oh, it's on Tabletopia? Okay. I knew I had seen it on something as a digital. It looks fun. It looks. I mean,
I won't
it's
back
just-
it, but I would play it if somebody brought it to the table.
There's just something about it, and maybe it's the timing because there's some other high-profile Kickstarters, but I don't know. And then this one, super funded from the creators of Unstable Unicorns, is Runes and Regulations, a card game of suburban sorcery. It's a strategic card game that combines the aggressiveness of a horde of dragons with the passive aggressiveness of a suburban unicorn. What? It's made by the people that made Unstable Unicorns and that
See,
crab
that
game.
loses me right there.
Fair enough. But at least you know what you're getting yourself into here.
True.
And if you have backed one of their previous Unstable Unicorn projects, if you back this one, you also get a like cross promotional card of the unicorn that's in this game as an Unstable Unicorns card. Okay. I mean, it's
It says it's a strategic card game, but coming from them, I don't feel
Right,
like it's probably
right.
too much of a strategic game. Which I'm not insulting them. There is
there is strategy in
and
the
there's
game.
an audience for this game, 100%.
Yes.
I'm just not part of it.
The strategy of this game is different than the strategy of like Brass.
That's fair.
But there's still strategy. It's not just like a mindless pick a card, throw it down. It doesn't really matter what you do. Like you still need to strategize about it. And it comes with a spinner. Name another game recently that's come with a spinner.
I haven't seen a spinner in a long time.
I know. But it's super funded. It's like $1 bazillion funded. So you'll definitely get this one if you back it. And they don't have their add-ons listed yet, but I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get any of their previous games as add-ons. Pretty sure. I don't work for them. I can't confirm that, but it seems like it would be dumb not to. We also have another Kickstarter that we're going to talk about.
On a special bonus episode.
How can you listen to that special episode,
It will
John
be
D?
on our Patreon.
Don't give us money.
Don't give us money.
Don't give us money.
It's something that we have set up for if we want to do it later
Don't-
on.
If you do give us money, thanks, but don't give us money.
Yeah.
If
please
you give
don't.
us money, you're dumb. Don't give us
We
money.
don't deserve money. Seriously, we're just putting it on there so that there's something on there.
The only
but
reason that we have a Patreon is because like 2 people have said, "Hey, have you guys thought about getting a Patreon?" And so I've done it to shut them up.
we aren't going to
Don't
devote
give us money.
a lot to actually doing a Patreon for now.
Now,
it
having
might be
said
something
that,
we do later.
if after convention season is over and John D and I get our crap together a little bit better, we'll see. But
for
don't give
now-
us money.
For now, you'll be able to find this bonus episode on there. You will not have to pay to get it.
Right.
Just go there and listen. It will not
It's
be
free. It's just
not
only
going to be
on
an
there.
hour-long episode. It's probably going to be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and it is about a Kickstarter that's up right now.
It's about a Kickstarter. We're not going to tell you any other
Nope.
information.
It's about a
free,
Kickstarter.
free bonus stuff because we've also been asked to do bonus stuff for a thing that we also aren't going to talk about right now.
Right, not right now. Not till we decide.
But having said that, we're off to the races.
So until next time,
Until next time, John D.
you can eat chit and dice.
Eat Shit and Dice is an independent production of Swin Media and is distributed under a Creative Commons license. Attribution, non-commercial, share alike 4.0 international.